It's Madden NFL 24, and the spotlight is on Justin Herbert. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Chargers and the Broncos, just ahead on EA Sports.
We are just a couple miles east of the LAX airport, just off the 405 or the 105 at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Today it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the LA Chargers. Hi, everybody. Brandon Gordon alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They've been in a great groove. Winners of 7 of their last 10 on the year.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they've handled all covers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now is where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So the Charger offense making its way out, and at the controls is the league's second leading passer a year ago. At 25 years of age, out of Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance, because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. The numbers for him from a week ago: 19 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown.
Definitely productive, including scoring his 14th touchdown of the season last week. It's going to be fun to watch the matchup now because he has a nose for the end zone. So if you're a defender, what's your job? Keep him out.
Herbert. Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Herbert with a connection to Allen for a Charger first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catch.
Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. Alex Singleton, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. You know, last week it was unbelievable how many times they were in the backfield. They had 7 sacks. Whatever they had for pregame meal last week, maybe they had it again.
I think they're going to continue to repeat it if they keep this up. But remember, we were at their facility, and we walked past the defensive meeting room, and what did it say over the door? Rush the passer. It's a philosophy. It's a statement. That's who they want to be, and they've been very successful with it.
Yeah, an opening drive sack. Under pressure, they got him again. DJ Jones in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long. Back to throw here, Herbert. And that is incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. This is fielded at the 27. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the Broncos offense gets set to go to work, and at the helm in his 2nd season wearing orange and blue, Russell Wilson.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it, because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Now he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage. Well, partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of '85. But then they never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20.
And when you look back on it, partner, didn't it almost feel like a setup game? Because they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were protecting their franchise's undefeated season of 1972, that team. And you know what that team does. They love to celebrate the fact that they still are the only one to get through an entire NFL season that way. That was Dan Marino's third year, playing under the great Don Shula, and they were motivated to keep that franchise's record intact.
A big third down pickup of 20 yards.
And this is an offense that's #1 in the NFL in rushing, and you know that has to be the focus of any game plan defensively. But they can throw it, too, as evidence right there. And they move the chains here on this opening drive.
Play action. Now Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Broncos are on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it as we resume action. Marr now to kick this one away. And Davis content just to bring this out to the 25-yard line. The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. Here's Herbert. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field. Well, congratulations to them. They come through defensively with another stop. And let's face it, this secondary, they've gone unchallenged so far in the first half.
Gonna throw on third down with Herbert. And the Broncos get there and take him down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Here's J.K. Scott set to do the punting honors. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And they will take over 1st and 10. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Second down and 6 now. Again, it's Williams. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
On 2nd down, Wilson. Touchdown! Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Broncos will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And Davis content just to bring this out to the 25-yard line. The Chargers going to take over now late in this first half. Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. More from L.A. in a moment. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Herbert now. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And the Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Herbert setting up to throw on first down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alex Singleton. And the Broncos are going to take possession here at their own 33.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. After the interception, here's Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I've got a good friend in football, always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. That is incomplete.
Well, so far on this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And this is caught on the sideline. And he gets out of bounds as well. How about that? 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
And in an afternoon where just about everything's gone right, there's an unlikely sight there. He's got a receiver all alone downfield, and he just overshoots him.
They go play action with Wilson. This will be caught. Judy. And all the way home from Broncos score. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Broncos will extend their lead here just before halftime. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball? Or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary. Or let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think they're going to continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. And with only 9 seconds remaining, when not much time, we'll see how they play this. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. A final shot before the break for Herbert. And that's going to be incomplete. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around.
Well, we're in the latter stages of this season. Everybody's getting antsy, so antsy that we're going to skip the halftime and get ready for the 3rd quarter. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. On the return, Tremont Smith. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And the focus shifts back to Jerry Jeudy and his Bronco teammates. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They start the second half here with Williams. And he's got room. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 35.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. Shreds the tackle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 73 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. They give it to Williams, running right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Javonte Williams becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Broncos are able to add on to that lead. So the watch is officially on now. That ties him with Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander for 2nd place all-time on the single-season list of rushing touchdowns.
And, partner, he now just sits 1 behind LaDainian Tomlinson's record of 28. We know LT's watching. We know he'd hate to lose his record, but we also understand he has great admiration for what this man's done, and he would be a worthy successor to the crown. LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the great players, one of the great people of the NFL.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And Davis content just to bring this out to the 25-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Randy Gregory came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. That's returnable now for Smith. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. The offense getting set again. We spotlight Javonte Williams, the running back. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the one touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he'll be close to a first down at the Chargers' 44. 97 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now, Williams. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Throwing is Wilson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Broncos first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Williams. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. More from L.A. in a moment. Now a 2nd and 6. A first carry for Samaje Perine. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson.
That is caught.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Marr now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that one a 13-play drive in total.
And Cortland Sutton able to finish things off with the touchdown reception. And Davis content just to bring this out to the 25-yard line. L.A. readies for its next possession. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Randy Gregory picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense isn't going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
One last throw here for Herbert. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and